Andrija Zmajević was a Serbian-Venetian Baroque poet who wrote in his native Serbian language, the Archbishop of Antivari, and a theologian. Biography. Zmajević was born in Perest, in the Bay of Kota, at the time part of the Republic of Venice, in late July 1628. The Zmajević family hailed from Jaguzi when the last members of the Krajovich family left Principality of Zeta. Nikola Zmajević and his cousins Avanis and Vuseta moved to Kota, becoming appealed and somewhat wealthy. The family quickly converted from Serbian Orthodoxy in favor of Roman Catholicism, with the three marrying Catholic girls and having the children baptized in the Latin Rite. Andrija's father was Nikola Milutin Zmajević. After Andrija's birth in 1628, soon came Andrija's brothers, Ivan and Krsto. Krsto Zmajević would become a very famous person, on more than one occasion as the captain of Perest. Andrija remained very akin towards his family origin throughout his life. The Franciscans held an elementary school since 1638 in the private home of the Mazarovich family. After attending this poor school for a short time, Andrija moved to Kota to earn some better education. As the first man of the Congregation for Propaganda of Faith, he travels to Rome to their institution, Urbino, where he earned a PhD in philosophy and theology. Andrija quickly rose to prominence in Rome. In July 1651, at the request of Geronimo Pastrik of Split, he was accepted into the Brotherhood of St. Geronimo along with 8 other young priests, all of whom come from Dalmatia. Andrija begins his literal career there as a student, when the ex-Swedish Queen Christine moved to Rome and paid an honorary visit to the College for Propagation of the Faith. Andrija was one of the 42 young students that dedicated poems and speeches to her in 26 different languages. On the 15th of April 1654, the Ottoman Turks from Herzegovina, under the leadership of Mehmed Pasha Rizvan Begović, assaulted Andrija's hometown Perest. His brother Krsto Zmajević heroically defended the city. Andrija wrote a poem, Boj Pereski, dedicated to celebrating this event. Some half a century ago, the last remaining copy of this work was lost. He returned to his home and became the abbot of the local monastery of St. George and the pastor of Perest. In 1664 he became the vicar of Budva bishopric, and in 1671 the titular Archbishop of Bar and Primate of the Kingdom of Serbia, as both Bar and the rest of Montenegro were under Ottoman control. Zmajević resided in Perest, where he built a grand palace called Biskupia. The palace was frescoed by his protege, the talented local painter Trippo Kokolia. Biskupia also contained one of the most significant libraries in the Eastern Adriatic. He also supervised the building of the high bell tower of the parish church and of many other churches round the Bay of Kota. Zmajević was interested as well in classical antiquities and collected Roman inscriptions and ruins. Although a high Catholic prelate, Zmajević remained very tolerant and highly esteemed by both the Catholics and the Orthodox, among the latter by Arsen III Karnović, the Serbian Patriarch, also of the Njeguz clan. During the Great Turkish War, Pope Clement X, in making contact with the Serbian Orthodox Patriarch of Peć, Arsen III Karnović, employed the offices of both the Serbian Vladika of Montenegro, Ruvim Threbolajević, and the Catholic Archbishop of Bar, Andrija Zmajević. He died in 1694 and was buried in the chapel by the palace that he erected. Work. He also collected epic and lyric folk songs and transcribed works of the poets of Dubrovnik, notably Gundulić. His only published work, the song Ode Pakla, saw the light of day in Venice in 1727. All of his other works remained in manuscripts. He wrote, Ronica Ayatopes Krikveni, illustrated by himself and his countrymen Tripokokolia, Svadja Lazarevic Kare, Brankovic I Milosevic, Paraski Boj, Slavinskoj Dubravi, Tripuscuri, Zmajević wrote both in Cyrillic and in Latin scripts. Zmajević called the language in which he wrote Slavic. He justified his decision to write in Serb letters, since the whole of our nation uses it. His inspiration comes both from current events and from Serbian history and epics, of that he often mentions Nemanju, Milosevic and other historical and legendary figures.